Trump and Netanyahu have just released their peace plan. And the first thing we need to be clear on is that this is not a peace plan. Palestinians weren't involved in this process. They weren't at the announcement, and the Trump team hasn't even spoken with Palestinian representatives in 2 years. The plan has been driven by 3 officials, each with close ties to Israel's far-right settlement movement. It is a 2-state solution in name only. What it actually does is pave the way for unilateral, illegal annexation of significant portions of the West Bank, including all settlements and the Jordan Valley. Now, they may call this something else, extension of Israeli law, recognition of sovereignty, but that's just doublespeak for annexation. At its core, it's an ideological proposal which embraces the agenda of the Israeli right and shows no regard for Palestinian human rights, international law, or Israel's future as a democratic homeland for the Jewish people. And let's be clear, this comes as a desperately needed political distraction for Trump and Netanyahu. Literally the same day the plan was announced, Israeli prosecutors were filing corruption indictments against the prime minister. Trump himself, of course, is in the middle of his impeachment trial. But this plan is more than just a distraction. It does real damage to the lives of Israelis and Palestinians. The plan relegates millions of Palestinians to enclaves and islands of territory encircled by Israel, with vague promises of bridges, tunnels, and even an artificial island to connect them to each other and the world. Palestinians would continue to live under Israeli control without full sovereignty or full democratic rights. This isn't good for Israel either. Hundreds of former Israeli security officials have written to Congress and to Prime Minister Netanyahu, warning that annexation of this scale will lead to further conflict and put thousands of Israeli soldiers in harm's way. Now, you're going to hear a lot from the White House about a path to statehood for Palestinians, about land set aside for a Palestinian state. You're going to hear about billions of dollars of Gulf state investment and 1 million Palestinian jobs. Right-wing pundits are going to say, Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. This is a smokescreen. These are disingenuous distractions designed to mask the underlying intent of the plan, to greenlight annexation and kneecap the prospects for a real, viable, negotiated 2-state peace agreement. The plan's promise of statehood doesn't meet any definition of what a state actually is, and it doesn't come close to previous peace proposals. It's also unlikely to materially change the situation on the ground for Palestinians who would continue to live under Israeli security control indefinitely. Palestinians also know that mountains of cash have been promised before. Trump's team has actually cut funding for the same exact programs they're claiming would be revolutionary now. So, it's important to speak clearly about this. This is not a peace plan. It's a recipe for permanent occupation and conflict, and it's a disaster for Israelis and Palestinians.